Hello, my friends. The description didn't come up. So annoying. We are here on a Monday morning, very, very sunny but cool Monday morning, and I am really excited to talk to you amidst I've got a really sore neck. So one of our Corona time routines has been to, instead of going to the gym, because gyms are shut, is to set up our own gym and work out just in the room next to me over here. And oh my God, this morning, hey Georgina, I have done something very crazy. I don't know what I've done, but man, I am in pain. Let me tell you. So I've got my very fabulous fashion accessory happening today. Hey Georgina, hey Maria, great to see you. Happy Monday. So what I wanted to talk with you about today is a very, very awesome interview that I had this morning with the Wolfe Brothers, who are really well-known country music artists here in Australia. They've been at number one in the country music charts for the last 4 weeks, which is very, very exciting. And I was lucky enough, blessed enough, thanks to a very lovely friend of mine for introducing us, to hang out with them for about an hour and really pull apart their brain and, you know, some different things that they're working on, but also really kind of what, not only what motivates them, but getting inside what they're like, some of the psychology when it comes to performing. So some of you will know that I am in the midst of writing a new book called Into the Spotlight. I am ridiculously excited about it. It's so close to being done and going through the next layer of editing. And one of the things that I really wanted to include was the interview with the guys. And I've been so blessed with this book to interview a handful of musicians who are just so open and willing to share their experiences. But what I thought I would do today is share some of the the Cliff's Notes with you from not only the interview from today, but overall what the common theme and what the common message was. Because, you know, if you think about it, you guys, like the thing that we all need to do when it comes to growing our visibility, when it comes to stepping into our spotlight, is getting out of our own freaking way. And what I've been really fascinated to hear and learn from these amazing professionals, right? And that's what they are. They're professionals at commanding a stage and mastering their stage and mastering their presence. And it's really curious to hear, you know, what goes on for them inside their heads. And all of the people that I've interviewed, and I'm fascinated. It's like they share that there's this self-talk that goes on, right? Amy Spees, who I interviewed a few weeks ago, she would talk about the muse and the critic. And Nick today of Wolfe Brothers fame, hard to say that multiple times really fast, was sharing that he, like the way that he kind of like looks at different things when he's on stage and, you know, things kind of are working out how they're supposed to, which happens every show, he said. There's these, the self-talk, and he analyzes what's going on and things like that. And Amy shared similar things, and Adam Thompson shared really similar things too. It's like you can kind of get up in your head. And I know that for a lot of you, whether it's for going live on your Facebook pages, whether it's live streaming, whether it's doing pre-recorded stuff, or even just writing your posts, a lot of the time we get caught up in our heads, right? And I know that this is not me. You know, I know for me, some days I go live and I'm like, I'm talking to you, and at the same time, I've got these thoughts going on. It's like, where am I going with this? And they didn't say that properly, and you sound like an idiot. And, you know, yeah, that was a really great point. And yeah, I don't know about this. And, you know, is that going to land? And, you know, who's coming on? Why is no one commenting? You know, that real, not all the time, but sometimes it's that monkey mind that just kind of goes, right? And so Nick, Wolfe Brothers Nick, was talking to me, hey, Shan, good morning, happy Monday, was saying that one of the things that he will do is just try to come back to the present moment, right? And I think that that's a really important lesson for all of us, actually, to just kind of come back and, it's a wheat pack, Carmen, because I've really badly hurt I don't know, it'll be fine for tomorrow. I don't know what happened. Sore neck. So I'm just keeping it warm till the Nurofen kicks in. And so Nick was talking about coming back to being present. Tom was talking about how, like, sometimes, like, because he's self-confessed natural born extrovert performer, and they were sharing stories about when they were kids and how their dad would teach them, like, their music runs through in their DNA right from way back, and how his dad would teach them to perform, and right from a young age, like the age of 3. And so Tom was talking about how it feeds him. And I was like, so do you have self-talk as well? And he's like, oh God, yeah, absolutely. And so hearing that, what I found really curious is the theories that I've had around stepping to the spotlight, and the things that I hear from you guys and the things that I have experienced is mirrored by these really professional musicians and artists for what they experience as well. And it was really nice to hear, and affirming actually, to hear that even despite having years and years and years of experience, they still have these same thoughts and still have these similar types of feelings, and how it can apply for you. And so, there was that. But what Tom was saying is that he would, think about the audience, right? How can I turn this around, and how can I create a really amazing experience for the audience? How can I make this a better experience for them? And I think that that's a really great point and a really great piece of advice. So being present, yes, which was a Nick thing. And then the Tom thing was, just really coming back to them. And I think when we are doing our marketing, and when we're doing our live streams, and when we're doing our blogs and all of this sort of thing, like, we get all caught up in the bullshit narrative, often bullshit narrative, that's going on in our heads. And we're thinking, like, is this going to land? Is this going to fit? Is it going to sit? Is it this? Is it that? And really the thing that we've got to come back to is, all right, who is the one person out there that I'm going to help today? Who is the one person that I'm going to inspire today? Is there like, how do I create the most amazing experience for that particular person out there, and just do that, rather than sitting in there and going into the analytics, right? And I think it's a bit of it's almost like an automatic reaction, like a knee-jerk reaction. If things aren't quite working the way that we want, or if tech's doing stupid things, or which happens all the time, if your internet connection fails or whatever, like, to kind of come back, the knee-jerk is like, oh, this is fucked. It's not going to work. Like, what are they going to think of me? All that self-doubt kind of starts to rattle in, versus going, hang on, we're just going to roll with it. And we're like, who is the one person that I can help? Who's that one person that I can inspire? So I think it's really interesting to hear these things ripple through not a similar industry, but an industry that calls them to step up and perform, right? Otherwise, nobody knows who they are. And it's the same thing for you. If you're not willing to get up and suck, right, and get better and learn from what it is that you're doing not particularly well, then you're going to keep being invisible, and no one's going to see you, no one's going to know you, and that's really fucking devastating, because the world needs you and what you provide. The other thing that I thought was really kind of interesting, and it's something that has rippled through with everybody. They've all got a practice in mindfulness. They didn't call it that, but it's a practice in mindfulness. So before they step out on stage, they do their little thing, they get kind of insular, and then they go out and do what needs to be done. And actually all the musicians I've spoken to do the same type of thing. So a bit of a piece of advice, or a tip, a hack, if you like, for yourselves when you're getting ready to step up and out, particularly if it's about doing your videos and things, take a moment and think, what do they need to hear today? Get present. You don't have to do this whole big, rah, 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 and really elevate and amp up your energy, but you've got to really shift it from being about you to being about them. Something I've been journaling on a bit of late has been like, and some days it'll be a dear God, some days it'll be dear universe, some days it's a dear Nicola, what do you need to hear? And it's that the thing that I always come back to, or often come back to, is like, how can I be of service today? How can I be a conduit for whatever it is that you, higher self, source, whatever, how do I be the conduit for you today? Like, help me to do that. Help me to be the best. And deliver what needs to be delivered. Help me do my best, not the best. Help me do my best. And I think, if you come back to that, and if you kind of hand it over and let go and let God, and show up in the way that you have to show up, it takes the pressure off. I remember Elizabeth Gilbert talking about this in one of her interviews, and I can't remember if it was the one with Russell Brand or if it was the one, her TED Talk, where she talked about the genius in the wall. I can't remember which one it was, but she was talking about, oh, you're welcome, Anne-Marie. One of the things that she was talking about was, she can only do her bit, right? And I think the thing for me is like, I'm really happy to show up and talk and, do all of those things, but there are still some days where I'm like, what the fuck am I going to say today? And it's like, all right, well, I'm going to do my bit. You need to do your bit. Let's go do the bits together. And I think what happens is that it can take some of that pressure off you, that it's all on you, that we've got this other thing that's there, whether it's intuition, inspiration, universe, God, source, whatever you call it, your genius. It's not all on you. We can call on the help of everything that we have available to us. And part of that, I think, is also having that commitment to showing up for your audience, right? And not making it being about you. So again, if I'm the conduit, like the hollow reed, and showing up is like, all right, well, whatever it is that needs to come through is going to come through, and I've just got to trust. My job is to show up and do that thing. So that might help you. Well, I think it will help you, and I trust it will help you when you're starting to show up. Right? When it's confidence comes from doing things. And one of the things that Tom talked about this morning when I said, hey, so what's some of the advice that you would give to people who are getting ready to step into their spotlight? And he said, do the time, do the gigs. In our world, doing the gigs is easy. Right? We don't have to get bookings at a pub or a club. We don't have to go out and stand on the stages and play our instruments. What we need to do in terms of doing the gigs is turn on the fucking camera and press go, right? You're going to suck to start with, but it's all part of building your muscle. It's all part of building your muscle of mastery. And he talked about the 10,000 hours, which I think is a really important thing too. The more you do it, the better you become if you're learning along the way, which is something that Nick reaffirmed as well. It's like, if you just keep doing the same thing and you're shitty at it and you keep being shitty at it and you don't learn, then you're just going to keep being shitty. You got to change something there. So it was a really cool interview, and I can't wait to share it with you. Just getting the excerpts ready to add into the book. Into the spotlight, getting ready to add that in, and we'll have the audios and the videos of the interviews ready to go up as soon as the book's released, which is not in the too distant future, which is very, very exciting. Something else that I wanted to talk with you about naturally is Funnelicious, that is coming up. We're starting on the 29th of June, and I was thinking about this over the weekend, right? And part of what I was thinking about was how important it is to have your database prepared and ready, as well as having your social media stuff down. Now, I saw a post this morning. Actually, I'm in a even though I don't live on the Gold Coast, I saw a post in a group that I'm in up on the Gold Coast, and something that was shared in there is that this person has got 30,000 Instagram, or had 30,000 Instagram followers, and her whole account was shut down. She said, I've just lost all of my money, I've lost all of my contacts, I've lost everything, because her account was pulled. I can't stress it enough to you guys that we don't own these platforms, right? We don't own our fans and followers in here. So if something happens, you're all gone. You've got to be building an email list. You've got to be building another way for you to be able to stay in contact with people. And that's called a funnel, right? Which is what we're going to build in Funnelicious. And it's where you're able to have a conversation with people, same conversation and same relationship building process that you do online and through your platforms, through social media. But you've got another way of being able to get in touch with them outside of social media. Does two things. Number one, social media is so fucking noisy, right? Let's be honest. There are 1,000,000,001 things competing for your attention. Depending on how an algorithm changes, depends on like what people see your content that you put up in there. Whereas over in your email list, we've got less, in your inboxes, there's less competition and your name will stand out. The second thing that is really helpful and really important is that when you're collecting names and email addresses from people in exchange for something of value, then you own those contacts, right? You own those you don't own the email address, but you own the right to market to that person, and it doesn't matter what happens unless they unsubscribe or die. And you can keep emailing them and they will continue to get emails from you. There's also less noise in an email inbox. If you think about it, you've got people can leave their stuff marked as unread. There's not a bunch of ads usually that come through your email list, through your email inbox. It's a lot cleaner. So if you can mirror what you're doing on social media and mirror that into your email funnels and build those relationships from in there, then it's a really important insurance policy, if you like, to all of this, so that if something does happen, then it doesn't just go up in smoke. You've got the ability to keep marketing to your people, doing it in a way that is elegant and nice and adding value and having your audience in mind. So one of the things that the guys were talking about was about how you're looking out at an audience and the best thing in the world is seeing like the people out there having a really great time. You know, they're in the moment, they're there and they're with you, right? And I think one of the best feelings in the world for me is talking to you guys and being able to know that what we're talking about and what we're doing and the relationship that we're building would be the same kind of way that we would do it if we were in person, or similar way that we would do it in person. And just making sure that we're always in contact with each other, right? Because that's how relationships are built, it's how friendships are built, it's how connections are built. So we don't want to just only ever talk to someone on the phone, right? We also want to see them in person. We also want to see them down the street. We also want to go and have coffee with them. We also want to go to the movies with them. We want to do different things and experience them in different ways. And this is something that we can do through our social media channels and through our inboxes and things like that. It's like we've got different ways and different mediums of being able to connect and talk to people and build these relationships. And that's really what we're doing in Funnelicious. So I'm really excited to share that with you. I'll pop the link in here once we get off so that you can jump into that. There's some pre-work going out this week and we start officially on the 29th of June. So we get that all. If you're in Australia and you want to maximize your tax deductions, let me help you with that, as well as learning some really cool stuff along the way. So that's that. So the message that I really wanted to leave you with today is that in order for you to get to where you want to be, you've got to keep practicing. You've got to keep showing up. You've got to get those 10,000 hours in. Make it about your audience, right? Rather than being about you. And if there's something that you need to do, if there's like Nick was talking about a mantra that he kind of repeats and recites. There's a bit of a ritual. They didn't call it that. There's a bit of a ritual that the guys will do before they get on stage. There's 4 of them in the band. And, that's something that they do in order to really show up and do the best thing for themselves. So do you need to create a little ritual or do some kind of mantra before you start stepping out there and start talking to your people? I don't know. Could be a really good idea. All right. I'm going to love you and leave you. Have an amazing kick-ass Monday. I will speak to you tomorrow, of course. I'll put the link for Funnelicious in here a little bit later. But meanwhile, what you need to do is you need to get out there. You need to go help some people. You need to have a whole ton of fun doing it. And please, most of all, remember that the world is ready for your brand of awesomeness. All right, everybody, take care. Happy Monday, and I'll see you tomorrow.